There ain't nothing sexier than a striker transfer, and they're popping off all over the gaff. It looks like, well, Chelsea have pretty much signed Liam Delap at time of recording. Arsenal moving in strong for Arteta favourite Benjamin Sesko. Where does that leave Manchester United, who were putting in a lot of work for Liam Delap, who snubbed United for Chelsea, unsurprisingly considering where the respective clubs are? They could be going in for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Chelsea still looking at HugoEnrich, as well as Liverpool, who of course will need a striker. They're trying to get rid of Darwin Núñez. Where's Victor Gyökeres gonna go? It's mental. It's all popping off. We're going to talk about it today in this video. Multiple pieces of content across all my channels popping off all the time. But if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, HugoEnrich, I welcome you to do so. You are all welcome of every fan base, every colour and creed. We are a family here on HugoEnrich. There may be banter to rival clubs, but this is a non-partisan YouTube channel where I just react to the big stories, and I'd be very thankful for you to like and subscribe. So let's get into this striker madness. Now, Manchester United really wanted to sign Liam Delap. Of course, they don't have much money, Man United. They are in financial troubles. They do have players to sell, including players that would represent pure profit, like Kobbie Mainoo and Marcus Rashford, who could even go to Barcelona by all accounts. Chelsea, at time of recording on Thursday evening, do want to sign Jadon Sancho, only if he will like pretty much half his wages. Which, me as a Chelsea fan, I'd quite like Sancho. I've sort of always quite liked him. I feel like his poor form coincided with Chelsea's poor form. And even if he's not a starter, I think for 25 million and reasonable wages, he'd be a good squad player for a top side. But yeah, there's money to be made for Man United, even if they paid 75 million for Sancho, they sell him for 25. They paid 100 million euros for Anthony. God knows what they could try and sell him for. But there are pure profit assets like Rashford and like Mainoo, which would help them. They were really banking on, qualifying for the Champions League through the Europa League final, of which they failed, and now they're getting booed on their their global tour, their Asian tour. But Delap is a good striker. I've been very firm, in my opinion, with him. I think he's the heir to Harry Kane for the England #1 eventually. And I think at £30 million, there's a reason why a lot of clubs are in for him. And yeah, I can totally see why Man United... Rasmus Højlund. Are they keeping Rasmus Højlund? Talk about another player that cost 80 million or 80 million euros. They can't sell him because they can't make catastrophic losses on all these players. They just simply can't. So they'll... It leads... I'll circle back around to Man United because it's such a fascinating scenario. So they wanted Delap. They haven't got Delap. Arsenal were being linked most chiefly to Benjamin Sesko and Victor Gyökeres. Now, Sesko is the Mikel Arteta target. He's wanted Sesko for a long time. And it's not just Arteta. Lots of teams have profiled him. Chelsea as well looked at Sesko for a long time. He's a very good number 9. I think probably the biggest allure with Sesko is he's a number 9, like a proper number 9. Big, strong, tall, good in the air, can score long-range bangers. Maybe not prolific in terms of numbers, but he's very young, Benjamin Sesko. So there's that, scope for improve. He's 21. He's literally he turns 22 in 2 days. So he's not even 22 yet. It's a very young striker who's been high profile for a couple of years now. He absolutely makes Arsenal better. But of course they did look at Gyökeres as well. But the biggest link of Gyökeres to Arsenal is how the new sporting director that's been assigned to work above Mikel Arteta, or with him in replacement of Edu, really wants Gyökeres. But I think Mikel Arteta, and of course, I don't know if his voice is the loudest with this new sporting director in situ, but Arteta really wants Sesko. There, of course, were stories that Benjamin Sesko will cost £95 million or something insane. That's being disputed now. Obviously, that's way too much money for Benjamin Sesko. Look, he makes Arsenal better. If they've got the money to spend a lot of money on him, he makes them better. They're really good at set pieces, Arsenal. Well, they had been for ages. He would make them better at set pieces in the box. They're not great at defending set pieces, Arsenal. He will make them better defending set pieces. And he's a proper striker, a release valve, a pressure valve. They were using Mikel Merino to do that, you know. Havertz is a good attacking footballer, but he's such a sort of in-between profile. And then the Arsenal ended up doing what Chelsea did, which was just playing him up front as a sort of target man, when really he's more cultured than that. And he can't play the target man role as well as a Sesko could. So yes, make no bones about it, Sesko makes Arsenal better. Delap to Chelsea, Sesko to Arsenal. Now, of course, there is HugoEnrich, the young French Eintracht Frankfurt centre forward who's got great numbers. He is another player, Chelsea fans will tell you, that's done really well numbers in the Bundesliga, a very transitional league, a league that affords a lot of space in behind, where, my club Chelsea bought Timo Werner after scoring a lot of goals in the Bundesliga, when my club bought the aforementioned Kai Havertz when scoring loads of goals in the Bundesliga, who, he scored a few goals in the Prem for Arsenal and Chelsea, but nothing like the Bundesliga, and he was really young. From 17 to 20 or 21, he was popping off in the Bundesliga, and then Chelsea bought him not to be a striker. Chelsea didn't buy him to be a striker. He was meant to be like an inside sort of 10, Eden Hazard-y style, in between the lines player. Arteta wanted to buy him as an advanced number 8 to be like Declan Rice flanked by Ødegaard and Havertz. Of course, this was before he knew that Declan Rice could play as a more advanced number 8 and do his best work there. But then they all just end up throwing Havertz up front because he can win the odd header, and it's kind of a waste. And maybe he'll never be real. His talent might not ever be fully realised in the Premier League. So Sesko makes him better. So HugoEnrich, Werner scored goals, Havertz scored goals, Nkunku scored goals in the Bundesliga, and it's been hard to fit in. Maybe Werner's not that talented technically, but he was running really hot at one point. Havertz and Nkunku are excellent footballers. Nkunku is an elite finisher, but can he employ that elite finishing in Premier League football like he could in the Bundesliga? I'm not so sure. So similarly, Chelsea fans have that concern over HugoEnrich. But he, again, like Sesko, very, very young. He's got to be 22. So very similar age. Chelsea is still looking at him, as are Liverpool. Now, you think Chelsea, they just got Delap. Well, it was always reported that they might sign 2 strikers. Of course, they're in the Champions League now. Chelsea before have had 3 strikers, and there's even murmurings that maybe they'll listen to offers for Jackson because they believe they'll make a profit on Jackson. Jackson cost £29 million. He's scored double digits in the Premier League in consecutive seasons, as well as other, goals in other competitions, and he's got a lot good to his game. He's got people inside football recognise Jackson's high ceiling. As a Chelsea fan, I'd quite like to keep him, but Chelsea would think they'd make a good profit on him, and they could sign 2 more prolific strikers. So Ekitike being linked with Chelsea again as another striker, and indeed Liverpool. Liverpool are being kept informed, and they will probably sell Nunez to Saudi. He's been spoken about how he wants the Saudi money. He'll probably still get called up to Uruguay. Is he Uruguayan? I believe he is. Still get called up for his national team so he can take the bag, basically. And it's becoming a merry-go-round here. So that's Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea looking sorted. Where does Manchester United go? Well, they're now being linked with Jean-Philippe Mateta, who is a bit of a hipster's footballer, as in everyone loves Mateta. Mateta is a senior striker. He's 27. He's about to turn 28. He'll be 28 before the next season starts. So he'll be that senior striker to try and make Højlund better. Look, in 37 Premier League games, he's got 14 goals. It's just under... Well, it's not great, is it? I mean, if it's good for Palace, but you'd think, yeah, but Palace are better than Man United. This is where it's tricky, isn't it? Because you say if he goes to a bigger team, he'll get a goal every other game, which is a totally helpful, fine, elite return. Anything north of a goal every other game is fine. So 14 goals for Palace in 37 matches, you crank that up even like by 4 goals to 18, because he wouldn't be on pens either, because that would have been like Eze or someone. So then that would be good. But you know, do those 14 goals at Crystal Palace go down to 10 at Man United? Which would still help them, because Rasmus Højlund's got 3 Premier League goals, so it would still be 7 more Premier League goals than Rasmus Højlund's got for United. Maybe he is a sensible signing. But where does this leave HugoEnrich? There are some murmurs and rumours that HugoEnrich is like Osimhen. So if your name is Victor, if your name is Victor, you've got too high wage demands. Of course, there is still a chance that Victor Osimhen goes to Saudi Arabia, like your Darwin Núñez's. HugoEnrich has got to go somewhere. I guess he could go to Manchester United. He could, but purely because of Amorim. Victor HugoEnrich could go to Manchester United, which would be wild. Incredible. It's all falling into place. Striker signings are the most exciting, and they're all popping off at the moment. So let me know what you think. Please do leave your comments down in the comment section below. Thank you as always for liking this video and subscribing. There's multiple uploads on this channel every day. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subs by the end of the summer. You, my friend, can help me achieve that. So thank you for jumping on for the ride. And I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.